You said something else in an interview about spotting stars and making sure that they have a band as a framework, as a almost as a stepping stone, I guess. And the Take That documentary came out a couple of weeks ago, and Nigel Martin Smith obviously did exactly the same thing with Gary Barlow. Take That was only ever perceived as the vehicle for Gary Barlow, and obviously took a myriad of twists and turns then.
Yeah.
Was that the case with you? I mean, when 1D came along, I was just trying to work out whether was Harry the. Did you kind of think, right? Okay, well, let's put everyone around Harry, or was it Zayn? You know, just trying to think. Do you have to think like that as an A&R? You know, with Little Mix, with 1D, with all these bands, eventually bands have a very finite kind of shelf life.
Too short, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In that particular moment with One Direction, I can really remember what happened is that they all had, you know, good auditions, and then in the middle rounds, you know, certain people, for whatever reason, they mess up the next time. They didn't do enough to make it as solo artists. However, when I saw them all on the stage, there was like this moment, which is, you know what, we got to do something with them.
Yeah.
So what do we do? And it took about, I don't know, 25 minutes, if I'm being honest with you, which is, we've got to put him in, go put him in, go put him in, put him in, put him in. And that was it. It was literally as quick as that. And then I just let them do whatever they wanted. And then they came back to me a few weeks later. As I came around the corner, I saw them. I went, God, they look amazing.
Yeah.
And I've got my poker face on. I'm with Sunita as always. And they sang and they left. Because I was praying, please God, sing a tune, please God.
Please be good.
And they were good.
Yeah.
And as they went around the corner, I jumped out of my chair. I'm like, oh, they are really, really good.
Yeah. But there's good, and then there's like where Harry is now.
Yeah.
That must be like slightly out of the realm of anything. That's like there's some kind of alchemy that's happened when it becomes Leona or Harry kind of level, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say, honestly, at the moment you meet someone you know, because I've very rarely been in that place. Maybe Carrie Underwood, you know, when I first auditioned her, you know, there was something about her. I remember thinking, wow, that girl's really got it. Normally it takes a little bit longer. You got to see or meet someone 2, 3, 4 times. Leona took a few weeks before she, you know, absolutely nailed Summertime. I'll never forget that moment, you know, because the rehearsals were a disaster. And then that night she just, I mean, it's still like it was yesterday. And then, and that was really before YouTube. However, the phone starts ringing straight after the show goes out from America. We want to sign this girl, blah, 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 blah. And you could just feel that she had that star thing about her. Lots of people are pretty good first time. It's what they do second time, third time. I think was more important. And that was why I really enjoyed doing the documentary, because even though you didn't see much, what really was happening in that week in Miami was I just took a step back, and I was just watching the interaction between the boys themselves. I was interested in watching the boys watching the other boys, and that was really interesting, that kind of whole dynamic. Just getting to know them and liking them, actually, more than anything else.
And they're folks as well, I guess. The family dynamic's got to be right as well, hasn't it? Otherwise, that must be like slightly chaotic to manage as well if it's wrong.
Yeah. And obviously, because of what happened with Liam in the middle of all of this, it was like, wow, what do you do in a situation like that? Because it was so bad. I was in pieces, and you know, I've got so many things going on in my head, which is why I literally just disappeared somewhere for a week to kind of think it through. And because it was like, I'm really, really struggling here.
So I think the reality of what it can end up being like if you become that famous is known and understood a bit better now by the new generation. Like December 10, probably going into it, I would imagine, with their eyes a bit more open, and their parents certainly their eyes a bit more open than, say, I don't know, Gareth Gates's parents, or so, you know, it's just completely different time where there was just no preparation for even 1D really becoming 1D. No one really imagined that. So I guess there's a bit more complicity between you and the families to make sure that they're looked after properly, right?
now, you know, things are so crazy. It's almost like the whole world wants to be famous right now. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of stuff that's uploaded, you know, they're doing it to be well known for different reasons.
Yeah.
So that's what you want. Then my responsibility is to go, look, if it works and you're successful, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
However, of course, your life changes and there are going to be times when it's going to be really stressful, really hard, and I'll help you prep for it.
Yeah.
And I'll be there if you need me.
You've always claimed that you're driven by success. You know, that's you back from the mailroom days at EMI to today. You've always said that you've been driven by success, not celebrity. You've also said that success enables you to be a monster.
I think the quote is, talking about other people is that it can create the monster.
Yeah. Have you ever crossed the line? Was there ever a period where celebrity got the better of you?
It's more what I've seen on the what I've seen is when you go into the green room when you're doing a TV show and there's a guest and you walk into the green room, there's someone who you really are kind of starstruck by, and they're just awful, just horrible people.
It's disappointing, right?
And I'm like, wow,
Happened to me with Mel B in the X Factor.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell her that.
You tell her that. She didn't.
What did she do?
She wouldn't sign my kid's autograph.
What?
Mel, if you're watching, yeah.
Mel, that's out of order. Seriously out of order. You can never, ever say no to a photograph or an autograph. That's it.
You know, for that period of what, I don't know, 2004 to 2006, you know, and when X Factor was at its absolute like zenith, you could have done anything. You know, you could do anything. How do you maintain a bit of humility within that when you must be just surrounded by the word yes?
Funny enough, there are still a lot of no's. Maybe not no's, but you know when you're excited about something,
Yeah.
and you're presenting a new idea. Because for me, if I like something, I'm so quick to go yes. In reverse, you go in, you present a new TV show idea, and they just look at you. And they say nothing. And I'm like, do you like it? And they just look at you. I'd rather somebody just said, I don't like it. I'm like, okay, well, fine, I get it. You'd be surprised how difficult it still is. Because actually, weirdly, when we were making these shows, everyone said yes so quickly. I just thought that was going to be like it forever.